What is up, boys? Today I have a video that I think you guys are going to absolutely love. I am going to be reacting to my first college lacrosse game. For those of you who don't know, I am a Division I lacrosse face-off guy at UMass Amherst. I am a redshirt freshman, so I injured myself my freshman season, broke my hand, so I missed my freshman year. So 3 months ago was the beginning of my redshirt freshman season. My first game of the year was against Army West Point. I can't lie, I was extremely nervous for my first college game ever because it was what I was working for my whole entire life. So I'm gonna walk through every face-off, what I was thinking, what was going through my mind, why I did what I did, and pretty much we'll see how the game went. I can't lie to you, this will be a very interesting one. I hope you guys like these types of videos. If you do, please let me know in the comments. Please hit that sub, like, comment, all that stuff. It helps me out so much. I'm trying to upload daily for you guys, and we are growing really fast, so I appreciate all your support. But let's get right into it. Guys, so just a quick thing about this game. I actually didn't start from the beginning, so I didn't come in until like the 4th or 5th face-off. And I always used to find that hard coming in cold because you sit on the bench, the other face-off guy is getting hot, and usually when you go in, it's when the other kid's on a roll and your team is losing the face-offs, obviously. So this right here was my first face-off ever. I came in cold. I was really nervous. I honestly wasn't very confident just because it was my first one ever. And this is how it went. So, get the ground ball, and then it's funny, I actually go behind the back on my first face-off ever. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, and I honestly didn't even remember doing it. I looked back at it after the game, and I was like, what was I doing? But yeah, that was my first face-off. I actually hammered the whistle like perfect. I was like, oh my God, I just won my first face-off. I was wicked excited, but I go up for the next face-off. I feel like I'm quick, and I go early. Yep, my second face-off, I go early, and at that point, I went from the highest of the high to the lowest of the low. I had no confidence after that face-off. I couldn't believe I already was having violations that early in the game, and for me, there is nothing I hate more than going early. So my other guy comes out for the next face-off. He loses this one, and then I come back in. I'm trying to calm myself down after the early I had, and look what happens. I go early for a second time on my first 3 face-offs of my college career. I know. I honestly couldn't have started much worse than this. So at that point, I got pulled out of the game again, as I should have. And let me speed up until I come back into the game. So I come back into the game, and I'm telling myself, I'm like, I need to calm down. I need to just focus on the whistle, do what I always do. And at this point, I felt like I really had nothing to lose because I had such a bad start. So I actually win this one forward, really clean win, and I end up getting the ball away. So at this point, I'm like 2 for 4 with 2 earlies. And then the other guy comes in after that face-off, and then he goes in again, and then I'm back in the game. And at this point, I have a little bit of confidence because I had won my last face-off. I was trying to get the earlies out of my system and just kind of play. So this face-off, I won the clamp. I dove, completely missed the ground ball, and Army got the ball. I'm telling you guys, there is nothing worse than winning the clamp clean, popping it forward, and missing a ground ball. So I was not happy about that one, but I was glad that I was reacting to the whistle at least at this point. Then the following face-off, I pop it back to myself. I missed the ground ball the first time, missed it the second time, missed it the third time. Now I'm laying on the ground, and then I actually think I come up with it in the scrum. Yeah, so I come up with the ball, and then I'm falling and throw it down the field. So that was the next face-off, and at this point, I was kind of getting a rhythm of how the refs were calling the whistles. I remember this game, the whistles were very long. It was like down, set, and then it would be like 4 seconds or 5 seconds until the whistle. So really long whistles. Sometimes it just takes the first few face-offs to kind of get settled in and adjust to the whistle. So that was what happened with me this game. So on this next face-off, I actually lost the clamp, and I remember going directly for a counter, and thankfully my wings bailed me out here with a great ground ball. So we got the win. One thing I'll tell you guys is if you lose the clamp, immediately go into your counter. I used to get so stubborn when I lose the clamp and I thought the face-off was over, but let me tell you, it is not. I think one of my last games of the season was against Drexel. I had an awful game on the clamp, and I was 17 for 24 just from countering, so keep that in mind. Also, Army was rotating 2 face-off guys, so that was a little tricky at the beginning of the game for me. This next face-off, did I lose? Okay, so I lost the clamp again, went into my counter. I think I got away with a push in the back right there, and then came up with the ground ball, and I throw this ridiculous over-the-head BTB pass. And thankfully it worked, because between me and you, I did not know I had a player on my team open over there. I kind of just hucked it over my head and prayed that it went to someone. So thank God that worked, because if it didn't, I would be right back on the bench. And then this face-off right here, I won the face-off, or I didn't win the face-off, I won the clamp, but the Army guy like did a rejam, which really never happens, and pushed me off the ball, and I think I ended up losing this one. Yeah, so pushed in the back, and then Army came up with the ball. So I lost that one, but this game, for whatever reason, I think it was because my first game ever, and it was kind of just like the early game jitters. I started off slow in the first half, probably around 50-50, maybe 60% in the first half. So this next face-off, pop it forward clean, missed the ground ball, but thankfully my wing, Marty, bails me out again and gets me the ground ball. Love my wings. And then, this was the first face-off of the second half. Army went early, so I started off with a win, and I think this is where the momentum really started to pick up for me. But there is no better way to start off a half than having the other kid go early and getting a free win. So this is the second face-off of the second half right here. Win the clamp, win it back clean, and at this point my confidence really started to pick up. So Army switched face-off guys because I was seeing some success, and I'm down with the new face-off guy lined up, and I hear the whistle and I go, what? What's going on? And the ref called me for lining up too close to the throat of my stick, and let me tell you, I was so bummed out. Look at me, I had no idea what was going on. So as I came back in after that violation I had to make sure I really overemphasized lining at the top of my stick so I didn't get called for any violations again. And this face-off, won the clamp, did a little right pop, and then I remember this, I had a nice little BTB pass right here. Also, if you're a face-off guy, look at this clip right here. I was about to run off the field, but my pole was getting doubled, so I went in, caught the ball, and then moved it down to the attack. So don't run right off the field if you can help out your wing. So the next face-off, win the clamp again, another ground ball clean to myself, and at this point, I think I had won like 3 or 4 in a row, not counting that violation. My confidence was high, I was feeling the whistle. It was just one of those games where every whistle felt natural. And then they switched the face-off guys up again for Army, so I was going against the other guy, and won the clamp clean, won it back to myself. And at this point, this was probably the peak locked in. This was towards the end of the third quarter. It was a really close game, back and forth. I think we were down by like 1 or 2 goals at this point. And then switch of the face-off guys again. This time they go for a good counter, but we scrap it up and we end up losing the ground ball, so that's the way it goes sometimes. And then this face-off was actually an early on Army. As you can tell, neither of us knew what the call was, who went early, who was leaning, any of that, so I'll take those any day. Thank you for that, ref. Now we're at the end of the third quarter. He goes for the counter, but I do a little right pop back, and then bad turnover by me. I think that was my first turnover of the season. I kind of panicked and just hucked it down the field, so I do not recommend doing that, guys. Next face off, I lose the clamp, but I go in for my counter. I go for a little shovel counter, and we lose the ground ball, but honestly, I was happy that I at least was getting to my second move there. And then this next face off, I win it, run forward, and I honestly thought about trying to go to the net here, which I honestly probably could have, but to be safe, I just passed the ball off. And guys, my apologies. This was actually the fourth quarter. We were down by 3, and I think I won 3 face-offs in a row, and we had like a 3 or 4 goal run. All right, guys, so at this point, we are down by 2 goals. There's 2 minutes left in the game. I know I need to win this face-off, so I think I remember right popping it forward, just try to get some type of transition. I end up winning it. I throw a little BTB pass to Shane, my teammate, and he uses those wheels, gets downhill, and goes and buries a goal. So at this point, we're down by 1 goal with just a little bit under a minute and a half left. and I knew I needed to win this face-off. We wanted any chance to win the game. So I win the clamp again. I kind of pop it in the same direction, but I get caught up, and we lose the ground ball, and that was how the game ended. Can't lie to you guys, after that face-off, I was so upset because we came so close to coming back in the game, and I felt like I had the game in my hands where if I could win the face-off, we could win the game, but I lost it, and that was the way it goes sometimes. All right, guys, so of course my phone ended up dying as I was filming the end of that video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I ended up going like 15 for 23 that game, so I had a pretty good game. Definitely a slow start to my college career to start the game, but I did bounce back. So that was my first college game ever. It was my freshman redshirt season. So if you guys like these types of videos, please let me know. I love making these reactions to my gameplay and kind of talking through everything. If they're boring, you can also let me know that too. But really appreciate every single one of you guys, and I'll see you next video. Peace.